As well as I help, I'm a board chair for a nonprofit dance studio that helps underprivileged kids gain self-esteem. So I guess you can say I am your cookie cutter, liberal, hipster activist. And I do love a double craft IPA, you know, everyone loves those. So, but this is so much different from a guy that I knew, and he's conservative. So he went to a Bible college here in the Midwest, and he also voted for Bush, and he probably would have voted for Trump. He has a wife and 2 kids, so we have something in common. And he's as active in his church as I am in the LGBTQ community. So I guess you would say that he is your Midwestern conservative Christian. So if a liberal is going to talk about him, I'd probably say he's anti-LGBT, probably wouldn't be good to talk to me. He probably is pro-Second Amendment and has a rack full of guns and loves to hunt and fish. And he's a steak and potatoes kind of guy. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Those are just labels that we put on him. And do you know why I know that? Is because that guy was me. See, I was in my senior year of Bible college when I was 24, and I ended up dropping out, and I came out as an agnostic. I then spent the next 8 years meandering through my life, figuring out who I was. After a chemistry degree and into my biochemistry PhD program, I figured out who I was, and I came out as a transgender woman. Nope. Anyways, so why do I hate labels? And I hate them because they don't represent me. But first, they put us in a box. We start to go to people in the same labels, and we start to become them. And then we start to hate the other side and to be against and be further away from them. And the second, as I gave it to you, I don't fit in your label. You see, as a trans woman who's a scientist, I get assigned a lot of labels throughout my days. And it is so much fun to tear them down. So here, I'll try. First of all, I'm a trans woman. So people say that trans people are mentally unstable. Yet I work with complicated equations every single day, and I do cutting-edge experiments that I love. So obviously I can't be that mentally unstable. And so I'm a scientist, so I must be an extreme nerd. I get that one all the time. But I don't get nerdy humor at all. I get a Monty Python joke here and there, and I don't like play nerdy board games. My best thing I like to do is go out on the town, drink, and gossip with my friends about everyone else, and binge watch Netflix. But everyone loves to do that. And then lastly, I'm a trans woman, so I must love ultra-feminine things. You know, we're always trying to fit this stereotype. But that couldn't be further from the truth either, because most days I wear sneakers, jeans, and a t-shirt, and if my daughter gives me about 5 minutes where she's not hanging off me, I may put on lipstick and blush, but that's about it. But being transgender, I realized that there are people that use these labels to hurt us. And I don't get to get away from people that are against my label. So yeah, I can unfriend somebody on Facebook because of how they feel about me, but I still have to go to work right next to them. And then I can totally ghost somebody on the internet and just be against them because of their values of LGBT people, but I still have to go to the bathroom right next to them. And let's be real, trans people are ridiculed, murdered, and beaten up just because of a simple label. And so me being involved in LGBTQ advocacy, I figured it wasn't my choice to sit back behind my own label. I needed to go outside my own echo chamber and do something about it. So, I know I keep passing slides. So I decided to start teaching large groups of people about transgender issues, for and against it, and so I talked about sexuality and gender and identity and how those things merge and don't merge at all. And then I decided to listen to anti-LGBT radio shows, views, and ideas. And then I did something that I swore I would never do. And it's not coming up on the stage because I would have sworn that too. But it was going on a conservative radio talk show. See, I was offered through a mutual friend to go on the show to talk about what trans people go through in their everyday lives. And just to give them a taste, some of these people have never heard of someone who is transgender, but they've been around them because we're everywhere. And so through this, I also knew that the host of the show was through some digging, knew that the host of the show was very anti-LGBT and also said that trans women shouldn't use the women's restroom at all. And he said that multiple times. So I kind of knew what I was getting into. Anyways, so I got on the show, and I'll give you the first 3 questions asked to me, just to give you an idea of how this was going to go. So my first question asked was, so you were born a dude, so you still have your junk, and the third one was, so are your breasts real? And I said, of course they are. That's how hormones work. You should read a book or something. Anyways, I didn't get mad at him. I just told him right after that I came on the show so that way I can show a side of me and that people can treat me with respect. Oh, whoa, we already passed all that. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I just said I just want to treat you with respect. And then, because I think respect is mutual, as I said in the beginning, it's mutual respect. He had to respect my name and my pronouns and who I am before I went on his show. And I had to respect the fact that he wasn't knowledgeable of these differences that we had together. And so it was great that he moved away from these sensationalized issues that we talked about, and we started going into the heart of the matter. So we started talking about intimacy and family and friends. And then we started talking about my parents' rejection. And so my parents rejected me whenever I came out, and so we started talking about it, and you can hear the empathy in his voice, and you can hear him saying that they just have to accept it. And then he said something. He said, in his own little way, your parents have to accept it like the Democrats have to accept Donald Trump winning the presidency. And so for him, he was able to see past my label and see me as a human at that point. And then we talked about my marriage. You see, I've been married for 13 years to a beautiful woman and who stood by my side. And we talked about it a lot. And he couldn't believe it that I stayed married through it. And I think that day he found out that love can actually conquer all. And it was beautiful to see. I think we reached out to each other that day, and I think we made an impact on each other. But right before I thought it was all over, we had a minute left, he asked me the weirdest question, and the worst question that a trans person wants to get asked. He asked, now it's not going to work. There you go. Which bathroom do you use? It's the worst question to ask. And I said I use the women's restroom, and he, to my surprise, and to most of the surprise of his audience probably, said I should use the women's restroom. He said it would be awkward for you to use the men's restroom. And that was his own words, so that's great. And like I said, I think we reached out to each other that day, and I thank him for inviting somebody outside his own echo chamber, because he has one too. And so he reached across the aisle to talk, and we had a conversation together. Did I agree with everything he had to say? No. Did he agree with everything I had to say? No, but we met in the middle in an area called respect. We shed the labels that we had for each other, and we started to see each other as human beings. He didn't see me as a trans person. He seen me as Tara, and I got to see him for him. And you could see it in his eyes and in the conversational tone we had. So I get asked, how can you convert so-and-so to your side? I get asked that sometimes. And I say that I think you're asking the wrong question. I mean, why can't we just have a conversation and remove all these labels that we put on people? Maybe the question we should be asking is, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself and get to know them? As the Dalai Lama said, it's only through the development of mutual respect and in the spirit of truth can true friendship come about. It is by these means only that we can move human minds, and it's not by force. So if you want to go out and change your world, maybe go somewhere where you can't hear yourself or your ideas, because it's only then when you can hear the world around you. Thank you.